Yes, guys, so we have just come out of that viewing in Wolverhampton. We are looking to convert this property into 4 flats. So we had to book the viewing to kind of grasp the real size of the property and how we're going to reconfigure it. But the good thing that we have is a direct comparable on 5 doors down. So we know that it can be done. It's just about securing it for the right price now. So we kind of found out the seller's position and what their position is. So they've moved house. They don't need to sell quick. So we need to take this into consideration when negotiating. But yeah, everything works from the viewing and everything works from what we've seen so far. All we have to do now is go back to the drawing board, look at the numbers again, and then think of a kind of appropriate offer that we can put forward to the seller, and then start the negotiation stage.
So we're at the second property now. We're in Dudley. We're looking at this 3-bed upstairs. Just waiting for the agent now. This one's got a lot of potential. So we'll take some videos around the property and we'll hit you back in a bit.
Hi guys, so we're here looking at a 2-bed house, terraced house in Dudley. So this particular house needs a lot of work doing to it. The owner of the property, I think the mom lived on the property and I think the mom passed away. The property has been empty for 15 years now. And looking at the property, it has lots of dams in it, needs a lot of work, new kitchen, new bathroom, new heating system. Then there are cracks on it as well, so this needs like a structural survey done on it. It has a really nice big garden which also needs a lot of work. So it's on for 140, and end value of similar houses in the area are sold for around 170, 180. So but looking at this property, we're going to need minimum 50k to get it up to standard, and I don't think the seller is going to budge on this to reduce the price because she's really attached to it.
So we've just seen this property here in Dudley. It's down as a 2-bed, but there is a loft room, so there is room to make it into a 3-bed. The problem is I've done the breakdown of costs before viewing this house, but they're not matching up now, because as I've been around with Samson and with Dan, you can see cracks in the wall. So you're going to need a structural engineer. When we've gone into the loft room as well, there's damp coming down the walls, which obviously indicates there's an issue with the roof. The cellar as well isn't too bad. The cellar, if you can see here, we've got water coming in. You can block that up as well, but that will have to be addressed as well. All in all, when I was doing the breakdown, I was looking to get this property around about the 100k mark. However, now on further inspection, it's probably more like 75 to 80. So stay tuned and we'll see what we do with this offer. Having a bit of lunch here at Maryhill. Now we've got another viewing over in Howes Owen. Don't get run over. So we're going to go over to that now. And then afterwards, we're going to break all them down and see which ones stack up that we want to move forwards with an offer. And then obviously catch all the coffee and then look for some more deals, because the grind don't stop. Because if you want to be in that 1%, we've we've got to just keep pushing and pushing. And that's why I'm meeting up here with Samson and Dan behind the camera. So join us and see what else we get up to.
So guys, we've just come out of this viewing, that one over there, as you can see. It's a 2-bed terraced property, and comparables on this road this year, one up there has sold for 200 at a decent spec, not a top spec, a decent spec though. So we've put an end value conservatively around 180, just because we don't have the off-street parking like they do. And we've just walked up and down the street now at some of the comparables. We've seen what they're looking like on the outside to compare it to the finish that we need to get it to bring it up to scratch. Had a chat with the vendor, we know his position, we know what he's looking for, which obviously everybody wants the asking price in an ideal world, but from an investment point of view, we need it a little bit less. So yeah, we're just checking comparables out now, seeing the spec we need to get it done to, and then we're gonna go and have a little catch up, have a chat about the numbers, and hopefully put an offer in by the end of today. Right guys, so we are now sitting down in Costa in Hales Owen, just we're kind of reviewing the viewings that we've been on today. So the third viewing, the last viewing of today, which you guys would have seen from the previous video, we have just ringing up a couple of estate agent valuation officers to kind of get a GDV of where we think it's at, and they are similar to where we think it's at anyway, so that's good. And then I've just rung the agent then, explained to her about the viewing, how it went, what we explained to the vendor, that with cash purchases we can complete quick, In this instance, it didn't hold any weight, because the vendor isn't in a rush to move fast. They don't really, they want the asking price as close to the asking price as they can get. They've had 2 sales falling through before at 150. So him, in his head, is fixated on the 150 and they've reduced it to 145. However, for us, it needs to be at 120 as an investment. It doesn't work at any more than that, based on the refurb cost, end values, etc., etc. So I just rung up the agent kind of to put forward where we are and the offer that we want to put forward, and it was rejected because, like I said then, he wants it closer to the 145. He's got it fixated in his head that it can get 150, but from an investment point of view, it's never going to happen. So these things happen. The offer's still there on the table with them. There's also another property that we are going through the stages of sourcing at the moment with them, so it's a loss on that one, but maybe a win on the other one because the owner is willing to negotiate. So yeah, that's what went down, and we'll run the numbers on the other one, ring up the estate agent, put an offer forward, and let you know how that one goes.
Yeah, so just followed up with the agent about the second property we saw in Dudley. With all 3 of us had a chat about it. I did the breakdown beforehand, and it was coming in around the 40,000 marker. We've since obviously redone the numbers, and now it's more like 56. That's due to when we went into the loft, you've got water coming down the walls, so that's obviously an issue with the roof that needs fixing. There could be you need to do a report, maybe some structural stuff. We saw some cracks, and then obviously as well, Dan was able to go around with the damp meter, and there were some spots that need addressing. So with all that in mind, the offer's gone basically down to from 100 coming in at 80 now. So I've just spoke to the estate agent. They're going to put that forward now to the seller and see what will happen. It is obviously a lot lower than the asking price of 140. However, this is where we're at with the numbers, and it's going to be tough to sell this property if they want near that price, just simply because the amount of work it needs to do. Even if you to rent it out, you're going to have to put a lot in it to get these issues sorted. So we'll update you and see what happens with that.